Okay, let's dive right into this. We all kind of know the story of evolution, right? Or at least we think we do. It's this incredible, sprawling story that takes us from cosmic dust all the way to, well, to us. But what if that story isn't finished? What if we're not at the end of the book, but just in the middle of a really exciting chapter? We usually see evolution as this straight line leading right up to humanity. We're the thinkers, the creators, the peak of the whole process. But is that really it? Are we the grand finale? Or are we just the setup for the next big act? I mean, the progression seems pretty clear when you lay it out. First, there was just matter, a universe of rocks and gas, all inanimate, all, well, dead. Then, somehow, out of all that dead stuff, an absolute miracle happens. Life emerges. And then, out of all that chaotic, instinct-driven life, another miracle. Mind. Self-aware, abstract, world-changing mind. Matter, life, mind. You can totally see the pattern. So, what's next? What does that question mark stand for? And that is the central question we're digging into. Is the book of evolution closed? Is humanity the final word? Or are we, right now, standing on the edge of another massive leap? A fourth stage that could be as different from us as we are from the very first living cells? To really wrap our heads around what might come next, we have to look at the story a little differently. I came across this incredible thought experiment from the philosopher Sri Aurobindo that just completely flips the script. Let's give it a shot. So imagine you're this uninstructed witness. You can go back in time, but here's the catch. You only know what you see. You have no idea what's coming next. No spoilers, okay? So let's drop you into the universe right at the very beginning. In that first stage, all you'd see is this desert universe, a massive, meaningless machine of rock and dust and gas. Now, if someone came up to you and said, hey, one day all this dead, unfeeling stuff is going to organize itself into creatures that grow and move and reproduce, you'd think they were crazy. You'd say it's impossible, an absolute fantasy. Okay, now let's jump forward. You're in a world that is just bursting with life. Plants, animals, everything driven purely by instinct. It's this wild, abundant creation just living for the sake of living. If someone told you then that out of this jungle, a creature would pop up that could look up at the stars, write poetry, and figure out the mathematical laws of the entire universe, again, it would seem completely bizarre, an unimaginable leap. You see the pattern, right? From the perspective of matter, life is a miracle. From the perspective of life, mind is a miracle. So why would our perspective be the final one? What if the next stage of evolution only seems impossible because we're still standing right here inside this one?
So how do we actually break through that feeling of impossibility? Well, the key, it turns out, is a really radical shift in how we think about cause and effect. It means we have to pretty much reverse everything we assume to be true.
Think about it like this. You see a storm rolling in. You see these dark clouds gathering, and then bam, a flash of lightning. So the obvious common sense conclusion is that the clouds somehow made the lightning, right? Cause and effect. But if you look deeper at the physics of it, you realize the exact opposite is true. The clouds don't create electricity. Electricity is the fundamental force that was there first. It's what created the atoms that make up the cloud in the first place. The lightning isn't the product of the cloud. The cloud is just the perfect condition that allows the electricity, which was always there, to finally reveal itself. And this right here is the core idea. It's what the source material calls the Great Reversal. Now let's apply that mind-bending logic to evolution. What if life wasn't created by matter, but was actually hidden inside of it, just waiting for the right conditions to emerge? And what if mind wasn't a random product of life, but was the secret intelligence that was guiding it the whole time? So if we take this logic, this Great Reversal, and we apply it to that question mark, to the next step in our evolution, well, the conclusion is absolutely staggering. It changes literally everything we think we know about spirituality and our own future. The old view, our current view, sees spirit as something our brain does, a beautiful byproduct of our mental and emotional life. Mind creates spirit. But the reversal flips that completely upside down. It shows us something incredible. Spirit isn't the product of mind. Spirit is the original thing. It was there before anything else, the hidden consciousness that built matter and then life and then mind, just to create vehicles for itself to one day fully emerge. So what is this spiritual being that's on its way? It is so crucial to understand what it's not. We're not talking about a human with a super high IQ. It's not a more creative artist or a smarter scientist. This is not just an upgrade to our mental software, it's a whole new operating system.
This new consciousness doesn't just think about nature or use it, it commands it. You know how our minds turn back on life and matter to create tools and cities and art? Well, this new spiritual consciousness will turn back on mind and life and matter and transform them from the inside out by its own direct power.
And that leads us to the most powerful conclusion of all. If spirit is the hidden source of everything that exists, then its final, full emergence into the world isn't just a possibility, it's an inevitability. The whole cosmic journey, from dead matter to thinking mind, has basically been the universe setting the stage for this final act.
Now, I know this all might sound incredibly cosmic and abstract and big, but it has a profound and immediate importance for every single one of us, right here and right now, because it fundamentally changes our role in the whole story. Think about it. For billions of years, evolution was a blind, hidden force. Nature was just doing its thing in secret. But with the arrival of the human mind, something absolutely new happened. For the first time ever, a creature became aware that the process of evolution was even happening.
And this is the ultimate takeaway for us. The rules of the game have changed. For the first time, evolution is no longer something that just happens to us. It's something that can happen through us. The unconscious journey that we were just passengers on can now become a conscious one, a process we can choose to participate in and even help accelerate. This is our unique position in the entire history of the universe. It's our unique opportunity. You could say we're the bridge generation. We are the first species that can and willingly and knowingly collaborate with the very force that created us to help bring about whatever comes next.
So the final question isn't about some distant, abstract future for humanity. It's personal, right now. That evolutionary energy is pushing forward inside of us. So if you know you're a conscious actor in this incredible cosmic drama, what part are you going to choose to play? What is your next step?